the main man. And today we are reviewing August 3rd's issue of Raw. So, how do you think the beginning of Raw was with the vignette towards Roddy Piper?
I really liked it. I thought they did a great job of showcasing the highlights of his career. They showed his best moments from Piper's Pit. They showed his confrontations with Mr. T. They showed as much of Hulk Hogan as they're willing to show right now.
Right.
And I think it was a really good tribute. They had all the guys and gals out there with their Hot Rod shirts, and it was just a really good tribute, and I thought it was fitting of Roddy Piper.
Now, did you know that both Vince and Triple H side after all the wrestlers went back in during commercial break, they remained outside and looked at Piper for a bit?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, I saw one of the pictures on Facebook today, and I'm like, wow, the fact that they stood out a little longer to pay tribute truly meant like that Piper had a huge influence on these guys. So
right, because you have to think, would Hulk Hogan have been as popular as he became if it wasn't for the fact that the fans hated Roddy Piper so damn much in 85 and 86?
Ooh, I don't think Hogan would have been as big as he was in the 80s without Piper. Yeah, I agree with you there. I don't think Hogan, I shouldn't even be saying his name, Voldemort,
he who must not be named.
He shall not be named. Wouldn't have been as effective as he was during the 80s without Piper.
Right.
Flair did a feud with him during 80s, 90s when Flair had his single WWF title run. So,
right. Yeah. And the funny thing is, talking about Piper, everyone's like, oh, he was never the top guy. He was never given what he should have had. I think Bret Hart might have been the only person to pin Roddy Piper 1, 2, 3 on WWE TV.
That's true, but the thing is, he was put on a pedestal where he didn't need the WWE Championship. He was the best. He did it. Honestly, him as a heel was just wow. He definitely crossed the line. If you go back and watch a lot of the videos from the 80s, it's just blackface. Who would have thought of that?
Right, and it's just the weirdest thing because I don't think they talked about it at all. They didn't hype it up as Piper doing anything. He just showed up, and half his body was painted. Part of me thinks that might have just been Piper paying someone to do it and just going out there and being like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Because that's totally something Piper would have done.
I think what really set him off as a heel was his edition of Piper's Pit when he hit Jimmy Superfly Snuka in the head with a coconut.
It's cliche, but that's the best Piper moment. That really is.
It was my favorite. It's the most memorable for me.
It really is because, like, you didn't see that type of stuff back then. You didn't see you didn't see someone get run down an entire segment and then get bashed over the head.
With a coconut out of all things.
Right, a coconut.
Oh, man. All right, so we continue with the show, and here comes Seth Rollins, and my God, the crowd is cheering for Seth Rollins.
What? I know, and it's not even a typical, smart crowd that's cheering for Chicago. That's cheering for, if you were in Chicago or New York or Philly or Pittsburgh, a typical crowd who's smart to the business. It was, I think, San Jose?
San Jose, which is weird. And to me, I think the smart wrestling crowds in Cali is definitely Los Angeles. Without a shadow of a doubt, is Los Angeles for me.
Yeah.
But to have these guys just cheer for Rollins, and I'm like, oh boy, he's going to turn face soon.
I really think he is because the authority's throwing everything at him, and you cannot have a storyline where Triple H will come out there and say, Seth, I knew you could escape Brock Lesnar. No.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, the storyline's going to be Triple H was trying to sabotage Rollins' run. And then it's going to lead to Triple H versus Rollins.
Yeah, I really liked Seth Rollins' shirt. Did you see it?
I did too. I loved it. I want it.
I want it so bad. I'm like, I have to go online and I have to order this.
Yeah, that to me is like
first. I have to why it comes first.
Yeah, that shirt to me is like when in '97 when Owen accidentally broke Austin's neck, and then he had I just broke your neck on the back.
Yes. Oh my God! Yes, that gained him. Oh my God! That's just that was actually very good heel work by Owen. I think it's the best heel work he's done.
But did you know that Owen actually never apologized to Austin?
Are you serious?
Yeah, apparently Owen, it's not that he didn't feel bad. It's just he never got around to apologizing to Austin.
He had time. Before his death, he had plenty of time.
I know, it was like almost 2 years. And I remember they talked about it on the last Austin DVD they did, how that kind of left a sour note in Austin's mouth, how Owen never said, I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Holy shit. Okay, well. Wow.
Yeah, and then Rollins cuts a really good promo on Cena and the fact that he broke Cena's nose and how he...
That was a good heel promo.
Yeah, and how he said, I didn't lose, I had sympathy for him. And then he challenged him to the whole title for title match, which that to me just throws a giant cog into what I think could happen, because I thought Rollins was going to go over, not clean, but enough to where he would get a pin. Mm-hmm. But now I don't know. Would they have Rollins hold both the US and WWE championships?
See, that's the part I'm trying to grasp right now, because most fan sites and everything else, they're pretty much indicating that it was Triple H versus Seth Rollins for the WWE title. I guess something changed along those lines. But why do you have your top guy, who's the WWE champion right now, fight John Cena, who's having excellent matches, by the way, so I'm not taking that from him.
Right, and I think he should be fighting some of the guys who he's been facing, or a new guy, like maybe have done a triple threat with Cena, Cesaro, and Owens.
That would be beautiful. So what, are we going to have a Goldberg moment where Seth Rollins wins the U.S. championship and holds on to the WWE championship? So what goes on there? Or does Cena Cena captures the WWE champion, and no one wants to see that.
Right. I like Cena as a performer and everything, but I don't think I want to see Cena be the one to dethrone Rollins, especially after the epic way that Rollins won the title.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But to me, the only other option is, and I don't want to say it, and it's a Sheamus cash-in.
But I don't even want that one. I don't want
I would almost rather have Cena win it than Sheamus.
I thought Roman Reigns was the logical thing to do.
Yeah, the one time everyone thought it was good for Roman Reigns to win, he didn't.
matches it. Just okay. So Rollins goes on and he's just blabbing his mouth and has the first ever WWE Open Challenge for the WWE Heavyweight Championship, but he doesn't cowardly.
But they have to be
Torito.
And under 200 pounds.
Exactly.
So they're like, oh, so it's El Torito. And they even had the balls to play El Torito's music.
Exactly.
Then Neville.
Boom. That was a main event match. That
was a beautiful match.
Indeed it was. When Neville hit the red arrow, I thought it was done.
I was like, oh my God. I thought they were going to do maybe a thing like they did with Jericho in 2000 when they had him win the title and then something sketchy happened and he had to vacate it later on in the show.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He beat Triple H for the title.
Yeah. I remember that match. I actually, like, that's a very vivid memory from me watching back then because I was a huge Chris Jericho fan.
Mm.
And yeah, they had me fooled twice on that long count with the roll up and on the first red arrow when it was just like he's not even trying to kick out.
I just froze and I just didn't know what to do. I'm like, wait, that's a 3 count. That's a 3 count.
That roll up was a 3 count, and I really think that Rollins just lost track of the count for a split second in his head.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I think he botched entirely.
Yeah, and I loved how commentary called him out for it.
Oh yeah, the fact that JBL said Neville should have been champion, and JBL's the heel commentary.
Yeah,
it shows that you fucked up at what you were doing.
Right. And the ending of that, and that was a beautiful sell job of the pedigree at the end.
Right. Everybody knows Rollins' pedigree is not on par with Hunter's.
Right, and when it happened, this is going to be a pedigree because he jumped and it looked like he was going to land straight on the top of his head.
Yeah, that would look like a really bad pedigree. Yeah.
And then it turned into a fantastic pedigree.
Yep. Now, what do you think about the second match that was between the Ascension, New Day, Los Matadores, and the Lucha Dragons?
I don't see where they're going with the tag titles. Are they going New Day versus Primetime Players again? Are they going to go Dragons? Are they going to go Matadors? Are they going to go a giant 5-team TLC match? I think it's not that much. But just imagine how much of a clusterfuck a 5-team TLC match would be.
It was a clusterfuck for the Hardys. Edge and Christian. Having 3 teams was a clusterfuck, so...
Yeah.
But I don't know what they're doing with the Ascension. I feel like the Ascension could be a good heel.
Right. I was so happy when they called them up because I had been watching them since NXT went under the network, and I was like, this team is going to make waves. They are going to dominate everybody. And they just made him a joke immediately.
They're a ripoff of the Road Warriors. I'm not.
Yeah.
But I'm just not
sure where they're going with it.
I don't know either, and that's pretty bad that you don't know the direction of the tag team division. I don't even think creative knows the direction of the tag team division. It's just I feel like it's going to be tossed between Primetime Players and the New Day for a few months until maybe they comfortable with having the Lucha Dragons as tag champions.
Yeah, and I'd like to see them bring up a couple tag teams from NXT. I would love to see them bring up Enzo and Cass to see if they would get as over with the main roster as they did with NXT. And I have really warmed up to the Vaudevillains as a main roster act.
Yes, me too. Absolutely. I'm not denying that one. I love the Vaudevillains right now. I'm a big fan of Simon Gotch. Simon Gotch is he's definitely has a place in my heart now. I think our next match it's a Divas match. That's right. I went to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah. And I think that was the first Divas match. I think that was the Becky Lynch and Charlotte versus Nikki and Brie. And they actually had Charlotte go over on Nikki. So I'm thinking Charlotte's going to be the one out of the new girls to dethrone Nikki.
Walking out to the Hall of Fame.
Are you think they'll let her beat AJ's reign though?
I don't know. But if you're gonna have her beat AJ's reign, then wouldn't it be logical for them to want someone to beat Punk's reign too to erase both of them since they both left?
Happy and proud for him.
That's a good question. So what, you think Rollins is going to be the one that beats Punk's reign?
Oh, God, no. I'm not saying nothing against Rollins. I'm a huge Rollins fan. I just don't see them having invested enough in him to give him a over 434-plus day reign. Unless they really change how they're making him seem on TV, because it always seems on TV like it's guaranteed his days as champion are numbered.
I wouldn't mind it would be for about 6 minutes.
They are numbered, and I feel like it's coming to an end sooner than later. And I don't really want it to happen, but I hope it's not SummerSlam. I'm really praying.
No, I'm thinking it's probably going to end up happening at Hell in a Cell or Survivor Series.
Really?
Survivors. Wow.
I'd
be interesting.
Part of me thinks they're going to try and revitalize Survivor Series as a Big Four pay-per-view.
Well, it's always been a Big Four.
Yeah, but I can't remember the last time as a show Survivor Series was on par with SummerSlam.
Sure, with Sting's debut, I would definitely say yeah.
Yeah, but that was it was really a one-match show. It was the big tag, the Survivor Series tag match, which I mean I'll give it to them. That was the best Survivor Series tag match they've had in a long time.
And Dolph Ziggler just kind of vanished to obscurity after that.
Yeah, he gets the most gigantic rub you can get in that type of match. He eliminated, 3-4 people?
Yep, and won the match.
Yeah. And then he's pushing him after Survivor Series, and then nothing.
Yeah, it sucks. The next segment that's on our list, I think, is The Miz, Miz TV.
Yeah, Miz did a great tribute to Roddy here.
He did, absolutely. Miz definitely got my applause for that. But his TV segments are always enjoyable, and he had his own.
As much as I will make fun of The Miz, as much as the fucking attire he's been wearing lately is goddamn ridiculous, and I think Aaron Riff puts it the best. He looks like the fucking Great Cornholio.
He does. But he's awesome, so it doesn't even matter what people think.
Yeah.
He's so good like that. It's hard to hate him.
He's so good at being that guy you just want to reach through your TV and strangle.
Yep.
But this Miz TV segment was really good with Owens and Cesaro.
Mm-hmm.
And how this made me care about the match on more than just this is going to be a 5-star quality match level. In one segment, it made me care for it on a story basis. Because it's basically being shown as Cesaro proving that he's not a failure.
Mm-hmm. And besides the factor, did you see the Cesaro section?
What?
Did you see the Cesaro section?
No, I didn't. Oh, the ones where they were like spelling out Cesaro?
Yes, dude. It was huge and it was amazing. And
Cesaro is so over.
He's over, and people, and Vince is saying he can't connect with the crowd. Where? Where do I see this?
I honestly think they finally realized he can, and he has, and I think he's better as a babyface than a heel, because as a heel he has to talk more, and he's not the best of talkers. But as a babyface, all he has to do is go out there and have amazing matches and swing a guy for half a minute.
Well, he puts on excellent matches to begin with. Matches with Cena.
Oh, my God. His matches with Cena were fantastic.
Exactly. So we know he could put on matches. And if you watch his old work when he was in the Indies, you know the guy can work. He's a good sound wrestler.
He is the most brutally strong guy I have seen in the WWE in a long time. Like, the fact that, like, how he scoop slammed Big Show over the top rope at WrestleMania 30 was insane. It flabbergasted me.
Pure core strength muscle.
Yeah. And I remember I read something on WWE.com. They were interviewing him, and he talked about how a lot of the traditional workouts that people do to get, like, big are useless for honest strength. And that's what he does. He works honest, like, on things that will make him physically stronger, not just bigger.
So, well, you can try to tell that to Lesnar. That guy's a monster.
Well, yeah.
All right, our next match is Mark Henry and Alexander Rusev.
And this was just what you'd expect it to be. It was a squash. And Rusev got the win without the accolade.
I just think, from my perspective, and this is me being a fan from the 90s onward, you don't treat a veteran like Mark Henry that way.
Yeah. I mean, I get Mark Henry wanting to put people over, but you could have made the match a whole lot more competitive than that.
Absolutely. Him going down the way he did, it didn't look right, and it didn't feel right to me. And I'm like,
yeah,
I get it. You're putting over new talent, but did you have to look so weak doing it?
Exactly. It's just I've watched Mark Henry
since
just about the day I started watching, and I've seen him go from sexual chocolate to the guy who was, like, on a streak of taking people out in, like, 2007, and then an ECW champion, and like, just getting main event pushes, and then finally winning it in 2011. And he's been a main event star, like, on and off basis since 2011, up until about last year when he started getting hurt.
Yeah.
And I remember the segment that they did, the fake retirement angle, when he attacked Cena to get the title match a couple years ago at Money in the Bank. That was a phenomenal segment.
I thought he was going to go in and win it, to be honest with you. I was convinced at that time that, maybe we're going to actually have Mark Henry as a WWE champion, because at the time he was going in as a good heel.
Yeah, he was going in as a really good heel, because he even said like he talked to his kids and he was like, "Dad's coming home," and then Cena walked over, shook his hand, and then he gave him the world's strongest slam, and it's like, oh, that's how you make yourself a heel.
Yep, you attack the biggest dog in the yard. That's how you do it.
Right.
I think our next match, I want to say it's King Barrett versus Zack Ryder.
Yeah, and thank God they didn't have Zack Ryder go over and start another feud with someone trying to become the king. And maybe he would have, though it would have been entertaining to see Zack Ryder come out as the king of Long Island. Like maybe the crown is like a bunch of bro fists.
Mm-hmm.
But I really hope they start taking Barrett seriously. And I hope it's just not too late for them to take him completely seriously.
I feel like they're really underutilizing Barrett at this point. It just feels like his reign as King Barrett is just completely just for namesake at this point. Past King of the Rings, they went on to accomplish really monumental feats. Austin winning the King of the Ring, went on to win the WWE Championship. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Rob Van Dam eventually won the WWE title. Edge won the WWE title. The guys that won King of the Ring, they went on to do monumental things, whereas though I just feel like Wade Barrett is stuck in mid-card limbo.
Yeah, and not even upper mid-card limbo, like lower mid-card limbo.
Yes.
There's a huge difference between upper mid-card and lower mid-card.
I feel like his days in Nexus were a lot better than
they were. I remember watching the Raw when that angle first happened, and I was like, what the hell just happened?
Mm.
And I would be really interested to know what would have happened if Bryan wouldn't have gotten fired the next day like he did. Like,
I'm more curious as to thinking what would have happened if Cena and Barry. Yes, I'm going to use the term Barry here because even Jericho and Edge went on to talk about it. Wade Barrett. If Barrett actually won the title, that's where I'm thinking what would have happened.
Yeah. I remember that story where they talked about how Cena thought it was best for Team WWE to go over at SummerSlam, and then he went like even immediately right after he was like, "Well, that was the wrong decision."
It was the wrong decision.
Yeah. And I remember both Jericho and Edge were like, you know what? We're both out of the match by the finish. I don't care. And then, like they said, like Cena went to the back and he went to them both and said, you were right.
Yeah. See, this is the part where I just laugh at people to say that Cena doesn't have decision making. Yes, he does.
I don't think he has a lot. I don't think he'd be able to politic himself to take the title off of Rollins unless he really pulled a Hogan type of politicking and like threatened to walk out.
He may be up to that point where he can pull a Hogan type of politicking.
But see, the thing is, I think John Cena the person would do that.
It's debatable because I think he would. Like it wouldn't put it past me. It really wouldn't put it past me. Did we have another Divas match? I feel like we did.
Yes, we did. We had Naomi versus Paige.
Did Naomi beat Paige?
No, Paige tapped her out.
So, all right. So, Team Paige won 2 matches that last night.
Yeah, or as they're now officially called, the Submission Sorority.
I like that name.
And I love the fact that all 3 of them use submissions as finishers.
I don't like Paige as a wrestler though.
No, I do.
Well, as an actual person, do you actually like go into like total divas and you watch her on Tough Enough, I just ended up disliking her.
I think on Tough Enough, I haven't watched it all, but from what I've heard, I think they went to her and said, "Be Simon Cowell."
Because she's English?
And they probably just wanted her to be the one that just is really critical towards the competitors.
Right.
But in all honesty, Tough Enough's a joke.
Tough Enough is a joke, but when you have guys like Patrick who actually cares about the industry and wrestling, and then you boot him?
Right. And
think about
yes, it's a fan vote, but isn't it their choice who's up for elimination?
Oh, yeah.
Right. And the everything I've heard, the fact that ZZ is still on the show is like damn pathetic.
Well, I'm actually warming up to ZZ. It's just proving the fact that guys like him could get on the show and prove people wrong. I mean, look at Samoa. He's not exactly in shape, and look what he does.
Yeah. I would love to see Samoa Joe get onto the main roster.
He should be already on the main roster. He shouldn't be on NXT.
Yeah, but it's protocol these days. I think no matter who came in, they would make them go through NXT. If they signed Bobby Roode, AJ Styles, whoever, they could have the most international experience of anyone, and they would make them go through NXT.
Very true. No, that's true. Look at Rhino.
Yeah. Though I think Rhino only wants to be on NXT. I don't think Rhino wants to go back to the main roster.
I don't think Rhino could provide anything to the main roster at this point.
Neither do I. I don't think he's the level enough of a guy to waste a spot on to put people over. And I don't think he's anything you can invest in.
No, absolutely. The hardcore championship is, non-existent at this point. So you're going to have Rhino fight for a U.S. title? No.
Yeah, it's nothing against Rhino. I'm a huge Rhino fan. I loved how they booked him in ECW. He was Brock Lesnar before Brock Lesnar. He was the unstoppable force. But he's old.
I know it's sad though, but he's in great shape still. He still has that classic Rhino promo, that Rhino feel, and he puts on his matches. So I can't really talk too much trash on Rhino because I actually do enjoy it. But going on to the main roster is just a really bad idea. But Samoa Joe I should be on the main roster without a doubt.
Right. And even if he gets on the main roster, he's not going to have a long run. He's 36. But he could have a good couple-year run, have some feuds with Bryan, have a feud with Cena, have a feud with Orton, have a feud with Lesnar. Imagine those matches. Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar.
I'm still waiting for the Samoa Joe versus Kevin Owens.
Ooh.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, because those two have absolutely unfinished business from NXT.
Yep. They fought it, didn't they?
Like, I could see something like, say, Owens actually becomes the one to take the U.S. title off Cena, and Owens goes on his run, and then Owens, like maybe just to rib Cena or just to be a cocky little bitch, does an open challenge. And he's like, but it cannot be anyone that's ever had a WWE match. And then it's like, oh, well, then what's going to happen? Like, the cameraman going to accept it? And then Samoa Joe's music hits.
But he's had a match at NXT.
They can say, oh, well, that was NXT, not WWE.
Nice stay there. All right. Let's talk about Paul Heyman's promo.
Oh my God. That might have been one of Paul Heyman's best promos, if not his best promo.
Oh yeah. Easily.
Yeah, Paul Heyman has made me care about this match. Paul Heyman has made me want to see this match.
You know, I still want Lesnar to win because I'm very pissed off about how they booked this match. I don't see the point in Undertaker having a revenge match at SummerSlam. If you wanted a revenge match, it should have been last year.
Right. But I think that was out of the question because of how badly, literally, Brock Lesnar beat up Undertaker.
Yeah, but did he really need to win over Bray? And Bray carried that feud by himself, and I just feel like...
I agree there. I thought Bray Wyatt should have gone over, but I didn't necessarily have a problem with Undertaker winning because I thought Bray looked really strong in the match.
He did, and I'm not going to take that from Bray, but when you got he carried the feud with all the promos. Right. Undertaker didn't show up once. Not once.
Yeah, but I thought that was a cool little twist. The Undertaker's not showing up. What's he going to look like? Like, how's he going to be after last year? But, yeah, I thought at the time Bray Wyatt should have gone over. And if it was me booking, I would still put Bray Wyatt over there. And
right. So Wyatt's essentially 0-2 at Mania right now because he lost to Cena. Cena didn't need that win, by the way.
No, he did not.
Saying that right now. All right, back to topic before I go on the angry Bray Wyatt rant.
Yeah, I could. We should make a video about the piss poor handling of Bray Wyatt.
Oh my God, we could do that and go on for hours.
We could. Like, they just stop and start push with him so much, it's annoying.
I think we could do that with a lot of guys. We could just make a video of saying piss poor handling of certain individuals, and Dolph Ziggler will be among them. I guarantee you that.
Dolph Ziggler would probably, him or Bray Wyatt would be the first.
Absolutely. Wade Barrett definitely there, without a doubt. So
back on topic. At this point, who do you see winning at SummerSlam? Do you think it'll be Brock, or do you think they'll have Taker get his win back?
I'm seeing it as Brock winning with Undertaker setting up another match at Mania, maybe.
Right. And then could you imagine if Brock wins again and then Paul Heyman can go on like a double the rants about it, like how no one's been able to beat Undertaker at WrestleMania except Brock Lesnar, who did it twice.
Then maybe we could push Lesnar back into the main event picture, getting his title. Again,
because I fully expect somewhere within this contract he signed last year for Brock Lesnar to get the title again. And I think it'll be sooner rather than later. And I'd like to see him get maybe a little more consistent of a schedule. I know he will always be a special attraction, and I like that. But I'd like to see him maybe one more match a year.
Yeah, but it's better than the Rock's schedule.
Right, where the Rock's had 4 matches since coming back 4 years ago.
Yeah, and his WWE title run wasn't exactly amazing. And
he won the title. He defended it once, showed up a few Raws, and then dropped it to Cena.
Yes, dropped it to Cena.
I was convinced going into WrestleMania 29 that Cena was turning heel at WrestleMania 29.
We're never getting that. We could all get that out of our mind that Cena's not going to be a heel.
I know, and I've accepted that. But at that time, with the build they had, I thought that it was the perfect time to turn Cena heel. And I remember they said on Jericho's podcast that was around the time where they had told Cena they were considering turning him heel, and Cena went and got new merchandise made and got new theme music recorded.
Then what happened?
They said no. They changed their minds.
Oh my God!
But the cool thing is, the money he spent on the new gear, he went to a WWE seamstress or whatever, and he said, "Okay, instead of taking this money and using it to get me new gear, each month, give a certain portion to some guy in developmental to get him new gear. Just have it chosen as like the John Cena scholarship."
Holy shit! I like that. I like that. That's actually pretty cool of them.
Yeah.
Okay, back on topic once again, so we can get it sidetracked. So yeah, Paul shot and then Paul Heyman.
Yeah, and just I didn't really understand what Brock was doing when he threw the steps into the ring, and then he just stood up there and it's like, that looks badass. Just Brock standing there so high above everyone else.
The Conqueror.
Yes.
Yes, that's what it came off as. To me, it was one of his old, arrogant, Paulie, dangerously promos, but it was a little more sadistic, which I enjoyed.
Yeah.
So we're off the Brock Lesnar promo, and by the way, there's a lot of commercials on YouTube for SummerSlam now, so it's awesome seeing how mainstream they're getting with things, especially for SummerSlam. Now that it's 4 hours, people, 4 hours.
I thought 1 4-hour show a year was bad. I mean, usually they fill up WrestleMania, but are they going to be able to fill 4 hours of SummerSlam? Especially, it's 2 fucking weeks away, and we have, what, 1 match confirmed?
And the thing is, you and I are going to have to review 4 hours worth of SummerSlam.
Damn it.
That's going to be fun. Bray Wyatt's promo is next.
Who's promo?
Bray Wyatt.
Oh my God, that I can listen to Bray Wyatt promos for forever.
Exactly, forever. He could just talk all day, and I'll just sit there, grab popcorn, get a beer, and I'm good for the rest of the day.
So, do you think they're going to add a third to the Wyatt family, or do you think they're just going to keep it Harper and Wyatt right now?
Here's the thing with that. I saw Adam Rose tweeting during last week's Monday Night Raw during Bray's promo, and he tweeted a picture of Leo Kruger.
Yeah, I've heard that rumor, but I also saw Adam Rose was in a new tag team over the weekend at live events. With Brad Maddox.
He's also good at cutting promos.
I just haven't seen much of Brad Maddox's work outside of him being the GM and him being the crooked ref.
Okay. Go on YouTube. Brad Maddox does this promo where he's in a dark place and he just questions humanity, and it's one of the best fucking promos I've seen in a while. And this is coming from Brad. Highly impressed. So maybe we can have Brad Maddox, now that we're talking about Brad Maddox, get a little more sadistic and become the third member. But I don't know who could exactly become the third member.
I'd like to see it be Leo Kruger, because from everything I heard, the Leo Kruger gimmick would fit the Wyatts perfectly.
It would. And it definitely fit fantastically. But I'm also hearing rumors for SummerSlam that Batista, the Animal, is coming back.
Ooh.
To team with Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns to take on the Wyatt family. But here's the question. Who's going to be the third Wyatt?
I've always thought they should have put Bo Dallas in there.
They're keeping Bo away from that.
Which sucks. Because they kind of teased it at remember at Extreme Rules when they did like the throwaway segment and Ryback attacked Bo Dallas?
And had the really stupid feud with Bray.
Yeah, and then I think it was the Raw right after where Bray Wyatt came out and attacked Ryback. So it was like, oh, he just interfered in his brother's match.
Yeah, but I don't think we'll get Bo as our third Wyatt. I don't know if they're just going to have Luke Harper stay with Bray until Eric Rowan gets back.
Yeah, that match like a full-on original Wyatt family reunion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And have Harper and Rowan do their continually not good-looking 3D.
To feud with the Dudley Boys? That'd be great.
Yeah, because I remember they started doing the 3D and calling it The Way. But the thing that would always happen is because it would be Rowan feeding into Harper with the cutter, and instead of having the guy's head here, the guy's head would always end up on Harper's chest.
That's a weird cutter.
Yeah, it didn't look impactful at all. Because it would just be like his head would just be going down onto Harper's chest. Like it honestly looked kind of unintentional. Because I've seen that happen with the Dudleys doing it once or twice. And they had a back and forth with the Dudleys on Twitter about it. But apparently WWE didn't want to go that route, and Bubba signed back with TNA for like a week.
I think it would have been definitely good for the fans because when Bubba Ray came back at the Royal Rumble in Philly,
that was awesome.
I never marked out so hard in my life. Like I just dropped everything I was doing. My girlfriend's sitting there looking at me like I have 7 heads. I'm jumping down up and down like a schoolgirl at a boy band concert and screaming my head off. And I realized how stupid I looked about 5 minutes after. But oh man.
Yeah, I really wish Devon would have been the next entrant.
Yeah, but you know what the thing? R-Truth setting up for the 3D was amazing.
Yeah. Like, for not having worked together that I know of, they had pretty good timing with that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. They must have practiced earlier that day. So
yeah.
Here's the nearest black guy. Here we go. We got Bubba Ray. So, all right. So we move on to our main event here, and we have Team Wyatt with Sheamus versus Shield and a Half with Randy Orton.
It's your standard Raw main event 6-man tag. Nothing spectacular, but nothing horrible. And
is with a strong. We end the match, but that, my friends, should not have been the main event.
No, it shouldn't have.
You kicked the show off with the main event,
right?
That was
if I'm not mistaken, the main event was Roman Reigns' first pinfall victory on TV in quite a while.
Yeah, he's been on a losing streak, hasn't he?
Yeah, like either losing or his opponent getting DQ'd.
Yeah, I mean he lost to Wyatt in a rather good feud.
Yeah, which I still don't expect to end anytime soon.
Oh no! Especially if they're feuding with Harper. So
yeah, because see, here's what I see happening. I see Team Roman going over at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see Roman, but not with having Roman pinning Wyatt, with Roman pinning one of the other one or two people, and then have Roman eke out a victory at Night of Champions, and then have it finished in Hell in a Cell.
So what we're talking about Roman going over completely?
Yeah, because I'm just being realistic. Roman's going over in the feud.
Well, yeah, I see him going over in the feud, but I don't see him just dominating the entire feud.
Right. Well, that's why I said have him eke out a victory over Wyatt. Just like have it like barely happen. Like have it to where maybe it's not from a spear. Maybe it's from like Roman gets a roll up out of Wyatt taking too long to set up a Sister Abigail or something. Somewhere it's he got the win, but it wasn't a dominant victory.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, and then finally have him go over completely in Hell in a Cell. Because I think Bray Wyatt inside Hell in a Cell could do some pretty awesome stuff.
It's actually very smart booking. I see Bray Wyatt becoming the reminiscent of an old Mankind, just being really sadistic inside of a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. And I could just imagine the sound it would make if Bray Wyatt took him out there and did Sister Abigail right into the steel.
I mean, we've all seen what he did at what was it? Extreme Rules inside the Hell in a Cell against John Cena.
Yeah.
Where the little kid came out and did the whole world in your hands.
That fucking creeped me out.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. But that's what I see happening in that feud, and that was the end of Raw. It ended with Team Shield and a half.
Yeah,
celebrating the ring.
I'm still praying that there's a reuniting of the Shield soon because my heart broke at
it was so sad.
It was like I cried a little bit. Like, oh, dude, why you gonna do that to me?
It's like, no, Seth, what happened to standing up for justice?
and when it was the Fatal 4-Way against Randy, and the Shield pretty much against Randy, I knew there was going to be a Shield moment, and when it actually happened,
that was awesome.
It was.
When they did the triple power bomb and Seth put out his fist and just thought that they were all good, and Roman and Dean look at him like, this fucking guy.
Yeah, this guy, right?
And I really like how they've kept Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose as like not still a stable, but still very much an alliance since the Shield broke up.
Yes, they're real life best friends. So
yeah, all three of them are because they I guarantee you, they all traveled together.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
You could even hear when Rollins pinned Reigns at WrestleMania this year. He said he thanked him.
Yeah, I went back and someone edited the audio a little bit so you could hear it clearly.
Yeah,
I heard it in my mouth drop. I'm like, holy shit! Like he really.
But I do see I think 2, maybe 3 years down the road, we'll see a full-on Shield reunion for, I don't know if it'll be for just one feud or if it'll be for like a run. But before that happens, I want to see a Shield triple threat. Now, do you think that'll happen?
That's what I want.
Yeah. I think I've heard rumors that might be the direction they go in for WrestleMania 32.
I'm okay with that. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
Like I know this would be a kind of a cheap way to do it, but have, say, maybe Roman going in as champion, having dethroned Sheamus after he cashed in Money in the Bank, and then having maybe both Rollins and Ambrose go out last in the Rumble at the exact same time.
Who did that? Wasn't that Lex Luger and Bret Hart?
Yes, it was. During their last failed attempt to push Lex Luger as a main event star.
Oh, and not only that, they did that with Batista and John Cena.
Yeah, and then which was I think it was a complete accident. I think Batista just lost his balance going for a Batista bomb, and then Vince came out all angry, slid in the ring, and fucking tore both his quads. And then he tore one, launching himself to slide into the ring. Then he got up and tore the other one. And then he just sat there, pissed off, and restarted the match sudden death.
He's sitting down and he's just screaming at film, and I'm like, what the hell's going on?
It's like, okay, I get it. They're bad. But do you have to be that mad?
Oh my god! Like now you go back and look at it, it's hilarious. But
it really is.
Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
And yeah, so that's honestly what I see him doing for WrestleMania 32. That and probably Brock Undertaker, or even though everyone's saying it's not going to happen, I could easily see them convincing Austin to get there with Brock.
Austin doesn't know, like, I thought he said he's not capable of competing anymore.
He goes back and forth. He goes, he'll say, oh, physically right now I could compete for 2 more years, and then physically I couldn't get in the ring for 2 minutes. It's just, I think it depends on the day for him with his neck and his knees.
Right.
But honestly, I'd love to see maybe Brock and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania.
Really?
Just have those 2 behemoths go head to head and see who blinks first.
That'd be interesting. That'd be actually very interesting to see.
Yeah, I would love to see a spot where maybe Owens goes for the pop-up powerbomb, but Lesnar jumps over him and then turns him around right into an F5.
You know the thing is, Lesnar's capable of doing that. We've seen him hit the shooting star
Yeah.
There.
And he tried it at WrestleMania 19, but he didn't get quite far enough. But that's what happens when you try a shooting star press from 3/4 of the way across the ring.
I'm surprised he finished the match.
Yeah, that looked like he got himself killed.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. All right, so I guess this is the end of our Raw review, don't you think?
Yes, it is.
All right, so, boys and girls, you will be seeing more of us next week and the week after for pay-per-views and maybe some Ring of Honor events, too. Who knows?
Ooh, that would mean I'd have to get way more familiar with Ring of Honor.
Oh, how dare you!
I don't have the money to fork over for the events.
We can stream the events. I don't know. Oh, damn it, Walter. Oh, we can at least weekly Ring of Honor shows, okay? We can do that.
Okay. That I can do. Since I don't get Destination America, I can just watch them online. They put their episodes up online on their website, I think, the day after they air.
Day after, yes. It's just like Hulu with Raw, so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that's it from us. I hope you guys enjoyed our video. And again, you'll be seeing more of us soon. This is Prince Havoc, and that's say your name.
And we are signing off.